Islam doing Bey. How are you? I hope well. This is October the 21st, 2019. I just wanted to tell you some of the things I experienced today. It's interesting because this morning around 2 a.m. At American Extended Stay, someone is always a black male or accent like a Negro black or Spanish, and sometimes pale skin. They're yelling "stay, brother," or military, or some sort of the same words I've told you I've heard before, and then either are trying to mentally and spiritually engage to rape, because that happens mentally or spiritually as well as physically, or start sending sharp pains. So it was interesting today because this morning I was sleeping, and someone yelled werewolf, and then I heard someone in the room 118, which is next to my room, mumbling with a Spanish accent. Then someone said the word CJ. So and my genitals started to be attacked in a spiritual manner. Then later, initiation, like some form of initiation was being done, or ritual was being done. And I thought it was interesting because the word CJ, I'm thinking SEEJAY, is, why would someone say that? And like I said, the walls are thin so you can hear. And that's why I was recording some of the odd feedback that was in the room, like there was a mic in the room. So someone is yelling werewolf, and also I hear them say military, that sort of thing. And then all of a sudden spiritual and mental attacks are being done. I thought it was odd. So what I did was, I just tried to go back to sleep and relax my mind. Because Arrington-Bey and I, Arrington-Bey as most Americans, we don't know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland. And so we don't know who feels is okay or who have invaded our space or trying to invade our mental space. All we can do is give testimony of what we experience as natural divine beings, because we definitely among those that are unnatural in spirit. That means they are probably mixed with some form of animal DNA or something else, and they are able to control the technology, a technological device with their minds, or however they're able to do it, but with their minds. So we know that we are among creatures, or I don't even want to say, or property that is not of a natural being. And it's definitely some form of experiment. So I thought it was odd. So anyway, I had to go to, someone yelled miss. I'm at Whole Foods in Annapolis, Maryland. Because I don't know why, a lot of times people yell miss, like the pale skin, they'll yell miss or stay a lot when they're with their dogs, especially when they're walking around with their dogs. That can correlate with with those words. So another thing is, I noticed as I was earning money today, I thought it was odd, some of the things that triggered thoughts. I work with the black male Thomas, and so I made sure I put my schedule, because CJ, the owner's son, this is the odd thing, because someone was saying CJ this morning as my genitals are being attacked, like there was some type of initiation being done as the word werewolf appeared. But actually the owner's son is named CJ, but it's not CJ, it's actually CJ. You just say CJ, so it was similar but not the same. And that's how that is my statement. So CJ, the owner's son, came, and Paul, which is, I assume that's his father, the owner, one of the owners, came. And so he's a pale skin. CJ, the other owner, Janelle, she's Chinese American, and that's from her words. She said she's Chinese American. and I don't know what the nationality of her, if they still married Paul. I'll give you as a description saying he's pale skin, and CJ looks to be biracial of both, but I'm not sure. So I gave my schedule that I can work Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. because one of my days were cut short today. And I was thinking of different things I can give testimony about, because I was feeling a lot of sharp pains right here and around, because actually around my shoulder, like stress or weight was being done forcefully, continuously, and especially in my head as I was earning money, and they were definitely forced pains. So imagine spirits taking turns, constantly sending sharp pains, unclean spirits that are unnatural, taking turns sending sharp pains, because they have the science of telepathy that Arrington-Bey and Arrington-Bey reject. So why would they deliberately send sharp pains to try to cause harm? So anyway, my new schedule is from Monday through Thursday. I haven't got this schedule yet, but I did tell this is my availability from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Friday from 7 a.m. to 3, because that's the holy day for Hebrew Muslims. Saturday I come in from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sunday I cannot. What made this schedule come about was because Thursday I looked at my schedule and Tuesdays were taken from me. I wasn't on the schedule for Tuesday, so that left me working 3 days this week. And remind you, I started off working 5 days with Burger King all the way up until this past January. This is 2019. This past January, Miss Phyllis said that because of the budget, I had to go down to 4 days, even though I wasn't in overtime with 5 days. But she said because of the budget, Wednesdays were going to be removed from me. I said okay. It was short notice, same as this. I didn't even know about this until someone said look at the schedule, or Dummy said you need to look at the schedule on Thursday, this past Thursday. So it's October the 21st, 2019. So when CJ arrived that past last Thursday, I asked him, I said, why was I taking off the schedule for Tuesdays? And he brought up how they asked me to work on Wednesday approximately a month ago. And I said I was studying. I said I was, but then I was asked to work again, and I said yes, I could do it. In fact, I worked so much I went into overtime. I came in on days that I usually don't come in on, and I was in overtime. So I didn't understand why. And he said, well, we need you to be, we don't want you to just come in or stay when you can. We need someone that's going to actually be scheduled on these days. I said, okay, fine, I can do that, but I really needed my Tuesday. But he said the schedule is going to stay the same, that I don't work on Tuesday. I said, okay, this Tuesday, he said, but he said for what, and I told him what I just said about my availability. I told him verbally, and I told him I would write it down and also give it to him. So I wrote it down today, and I handed on in the office exactly what I said. And he said, because the words from him was that he needs someone that actually can be scheduled on these hours and these days, not someone that can come in if they can, if they cannot. Those are his words. And I said, okay, that's no problem. So still, it didn't make sense from the Tuesday. I didn't understand why Tuesday was taken from me, because I needed, that was short notice, and their store on Edgewater was just closed down. So, which I found that out in short notice too. It was another store they had in the city called Edgewater. So as far as I know, they only had 2 stores. This one that I work at, and then Edgewater, that one closed down. So, and I don't know why it closed down. I have no idea. I don't know the legalities. I have no reason why that store closed. I don't know why it closed down. All I know is that I never worked there. And I've been at this store, so and I work really hard at 732 on West Street, the store number. I work really hard, and I didn't understand why Tuesdays, because some of the Edgewater employees are there. So I didn't understand why I was not on the schedule for Tuesday, because I'm already down to 4 days only. I was asked to come to work 2 Saturdays ago, and I did. They said they needed someone on Saturday morning. I said yes. When I arrived there Saturday morning at 7 a.m., there was another girl there that was from that store, Edgewater, and they told me they didn't need me. So that person was going to work there. So I was like, okay. So I walked back. I left and said, okay, no problem. So I didn't understand why this past Thursday, which today is the 21st, Monday, the 20th was Sunday, 19th was Saturday, the 18th was Friday, and I guess that would make it the 17th. Why 17th? My schedule, I mean, without no notice. We paid $985 in rent every 2 weeks without any notice. I was removed from Tuesday. Besides, he just said, we asked you, and I was really irritated about it, because I was like, yes, but then I was asked again, and I worked. I just went into overtime when I was working all the days that I was asked to come in to work. So I didn't understand. I was like, what? So I pinned my availability. Another thing I noticed, Dwayne Baffield Bay, because I noticed people are still now speaking about getting a lawyer again. A lot of times when they come to Burger King, or speak of lawyer. I don't know why. I have never intentionally, when I started working at Burger King, earning money at Burger King, I've never understood why the word lawyer kept coming up, especially in our situations. So all I can think of is there are people in Annapolis, Maryland that might actually sue a lot. But I don't know why, because that has never been my intentions to sue or want to sue or get a lawyer. I think if someone is actually, for me as a Hebrew Muslim, implementing Abraham Lincoln's proclamations and returning back to my true self, getting back, demonstrating who I am as a Moorish American, my nationality, I should be able to earn money and justly, with integrity, and not have to worry about someone trying to sue. And so I know there's preventive measures that we must do as employees at Burger King to keep from this someone developing a lawsuit, like making sure the tops are on top of the coffee, the lids, putting the wet floor sign up when we mop. If someone say they're allergic, let the cooks know that they say allergic. Keep our hands washed. There are many things that we try to do, I know I have done, to prevent any form of lawsuit from happening. So if someone used the word allergic in reference to seeds on bread or anything, I definitely tell the cooks immediately, even if I know a sandwich doesn't have that condiment, because it can easily have something on their hands, and it just gives them a heads up that they might need to change their gloves and be extremely careful. So it's interesting to hear people come into Burger King at this store. I've never worked at the other store that closed now, and I don't know why it closed down. I never speak of getting a lawyer in lawsuit. So that was something else. Another thought that came to mind is in today, Khalid Muhammad, because I work with Thomas, the black male manager, unless he claimed a nationality. I'm just giving a description in Diamond. But Khalid Muhammad, he was using the word beast. He was like, I'm a beast. And I remember I told you, Dwayne Baffield Bay, in one of my videos, he one time called me a beast. I was thinking about how so many times people, or I've had thoughts imply that so there's some form of science that can cause a person to become beast-like. And I was thinking about my child, Arrington-Bey, and what happened to him spiritually being attacked, and spiritually being possessed, or I should say attacked spiritually. That's the word. And so he actually, it was like his body was being twisted and moved and formed in ways that was not natural. And I remember when he was visiting this in August of 2018, the word beast kept coming up in different forms, in different ways from different spirits. So when I hear Khalid Muhammad speak of I'm a beast, and one day he actually called me a beast, as though I told him, I said, I'm not a beast. I am a natural divine being. I am no beast. I am not an animal. I am not a beast. But it lets me know possibly that there's a science that can, and where these spirits are able to engage, that can cause a person, if they allow them in through different departments of their mind, to cause them to behave or move or be possessed so much where they lose complete function of their body. So they don't have control of their mind. They don't have control of their bodies. And so in that, they could be considered someone on the street from what they was referring to, saying a lot when Arrington-Bey, my child was visiting, a beast. Because if you are moving up and you're twisting and you're doing this and you're all out of, and you look like you lost, your mind is gone, then on a street animalistic thought, I could see why someone would make a joke, because they were many times at American Independence Day, there were people say military brother, as Arrington-Bey, he was 19 years old being attacked, and used the word, and I heard the word beast. So another thing I noticed also, spirits are able to engage. I wanted to tell you this before, but this is something in reference to spirituality, in reference, like if they're trying to get you to feel some form of attraction, like the black Negro male or even Spanish speaking, will actually engage and try to see if they can, that you are actually feeling like you might think you actually have an attraction for them. And it's not. They are actually attacking a sheath, the outer sheath of your body, of your mind, not your body, your mind. And you might think you actually find that thing, because that's unclean spirit, attractive, but it's not you. And so I've seen that happen, and I've seen males, as this happens, start moving, start gyrating. You know, when they realize that I know what's going on, they'll start gyrating. This is the, what's the word? Mainly that which should be on the status of black, Negro, African American, if they haven't claimed the nationality. Start gyrating their hips like they can't control themselves, like they're just so ready to penetrate someone. Or they'll spread their legs like some do. They use the word 3, or try to encourage the number 33, and start doing like this. Like an animal, literally like an animal in the public. So what they're doing is, so they spread their legs apart and they push their hips in like an animal and start moving their hips like they're trying to shove something in. I've seen that happen too many times, and then while they're trying to encourage the number 33, which is connected to some form of Freemasonry, or 3, literally like an animal, literally. And so this is real. And so when I say we're among experiments, unnatural things, unnatural beings, it's real. It is truly real in thoughts, words, and deeds, like animals, beasts. So that word beast can be applied to that. And then that is connected to slave breeding. So that's I guess that was be another thing. Another thing I was thinking about in thoughts was Oh, Mr. Thomas, he started to use the word. It sounded like he mumbled the word more a few times as early this morning. Because once again, I was feeling sharp pains around this area here, and around this, and I was trying to see where they, when I start feeling them, so I can, keep an eye on. I'm about self-healing, and I'm trying to keep myself healthy the way by the way. This is promoted in Moorish American National Republic, and our temple is promoted to be healthy mentally, spiritually, and physically. So to eat according to the chemistry of our body. And I always say this, Imani and Ray Arrington-Bey and I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, haven't eaten out in over 2.5 years. And that includes at Burger King in approximately over 2.5 years. That includes at Burger King, even maybe close to 3 years, and Wendy's, because what's going on. So it's January, February, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, maybe almost 3 years now, approximately. Approximately. And it's nothing against Wendy's or Burger King, or this is any restaurant, because we are demonstrating putting our own energy in our own food, and we eat food or that correlates to the chemistry of our body. We've been on this path of mental health, physical health for years, and to be a vegan/vegetarian, because that's what we are. We're still in slow motion in doing this, and we're not perfect vegans or perfect vegetarians. We're just learning what we can tolerate and what gives us strength and make us feel healthy, and give us make us balanced, help us stay balanced mentally, and what does not, and physical balance. So many times I've had guests ask me, "You had some coffee?" I'm like, "No, I had no coffee," and because I haven't drank. I had 4 cups of coffee in 30 days approximately, and so I'm weaning myself off coffee. And that's because I'm really focusing on natural energy, and using other ways to exert natural energy. And so in 30 days, this past 30 days, I had 4 cups of coffee. So I might have 2 cups in the next 30 days. I don't know, but I'm doing pretty good. So let me finish the thought. So Mr. Thomas, I work with him. He's a black male, and I told him, I said, always address me by my name, please, because I always dress him by his name. Because it's like he was saying more early in the morning, but I could be wrong. He's like, some of more as I tuck the bag or hand him the bag, and then I noticed he was still addressing some of the customers with the word love, L-O-V. Like, here you are, love. Yes, love. I've never addressed any customers in that way. That, to me, I don't know any customers that personally. We don't know any one person in Annapolis, so I wouldn't do that. But he is the manager, so I guess he knows what he's doing. But in reference to the pain I was feeling, which, imagine once again, different unclean spirits taking turns in a ritualistic manner to send sharp pains to a natural divine being. So you have unclean spirits that are unnatural, all right, experiments, ritualistically taking turns using the science of telepathy to send sharp pains to a natural, healthy divine being. So I remember I looked, and Mr. Thomas was in the office, and he had the phone, and the office has a window, you can see the cashiers, and he was just looking towards that way on the front line. I don't know who he was looking at, but he was looking towards the front line, and sharp pains would happen here, I mean, I don't know where. And I remember I looked, and I was like, okay, I looked at the time, and I can't remember the time. I guess it was about 8:45 a.m., I think, approximately. And then, yeah, it was about 8:45 approximately. And then it stopped. It's sort of like when I experienced sharp pains in my anus while I'm earning money, and I know these are forced. All these pains are forced. So what I'm going to do, on my chest or in my head. So imagine, Dwayne Bey, unclean spirits, unnatural experiments, taking turns in a ritualistic, demonic ritual to send sharp pains to a healthy, divine, natural being, organs, joints, and different parts of the body. That's very sadistic and it's very savage, but that's exactly what I've experienced. And a lot of times I hear them say when I'm out, your son, like they're threatening to do the exact same thing to Imani Arrington-Bey. Now, we are in the process of amending our birth certificates. So we corrected our Social Security cards with our ancestral name of Bey and our Maryland state ID with Bey. We made sure that they said we got to go back to the Social Security office, but the Maryland DMV, we made sure that they have us on the status of white. Now we are in the process of amending our birth certificate. Imani Arrington-Bey's birth certificate was mailed, but it wasn't done properly, and we're waiting for. We had to resubmit a motion of revisory for our court order name change to the circuit courts in Annapolis, Maryland, because even though we submitted the documents that states the federal codes that allow us to have our race displayed on our court order name change or correction, they still, from Moorish Science Temple of America, they still didn't do it. And so it could be because maybe that I don't know why they didn't do it, but because definitely those codes were presented on those documents. And also Abraham Lincoln's part of Abraham Lincoln's proclamations were presented. So what we had to do is resubmit a petition to have a motion revisory done so that we can amend our birth certificates with our race we're being classified as Asiatic, our political status as white on our birth certificates. So so that's the problem. So Imani Arrington-Bey actually received his birth certificate, which was odd because they said they weren't going to send his birth certificate, but they sent his birth certificate in a short amount of time, but it didn't have his racial. It had his name Bey, but it didn't have his racial designation up there, and it didn't have his political status. So we're going to have to redo this again. Islam. So that's where we're at now. Many times when I'm earning money at Burger King, I can tell I'm experiencing forced sharp pains. So all I can just tell you, Dwayne Baffoe, imagine unclean experiments taking turns in a demonic ritual manner to send forth sharp pains to a healthy, divine, natural being. Islam. I'm Ronnie Arrington-Bey. Oh, and also, I did tell Janelle at Burger King, which is the owner wife, about it. I submitted the information of the corrected Social Security card and my Maryland state ID to her. So so that when I receive my W-2, it should say Rhonda Arrington-Bey, not just Rhonda Arrington. But on my, for instance, my let's see if I can find it. My timesheet is still saying Arrington, but she said this doesn't have anything to do with it. So I asked her to change it, but she hasn't changed it yet. So it still says Arrington here. This is actually the one from today. So hopefully it'll be done. It says 10/21. This is my clock-in sheet for today. So hopefully this will be done soon, because there shouldn't be any confusion. So once again, Dwayne Baffoe, Imani Arrington-Bey, we have been trying this for a while, eating according to the chemistry of our bodies. It has nothing to do with any specific restaurant. This is just what we choose to do as natural divine beings, as Moorish Americans, which is our nationality, to do so and to earn money with integrity. in a just manner. I don't know anyone personally at Burger King. Never implied I want to get to know anyone personally at Burger King. Not the owners. I have never had a personal conversation with any of them. But I have always tried to maintain a respect. Even today, Khalid Muhammad Abdullah cursed while he was speaking to me on front line in front of a lot of customers, and I corrected him. I said, please don't curse on the front line, and then I said, don't curse, please don't curse at all. Don't curse. He used the word D-A-M-N, as he was talking to me. After he handed me the bag, and he said, here Rhonda, or something like that, and he said, D-A-M-N, loud, and I said, don't curse. I have never cursed at any of them. I don't know any of them personally in that manner, and I don't curse. I try not to curse or use curse words anyway. So I feel like there's other ways I can articulate myself and articulate or communicate than having to curse and use words that doesn't truly express how I feel. So that's it. I'll talk to you later.